And here we go. Monday, February 7, 2022. Ermanni Edwards.
I wasn't ready.
The bottom line. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, who hears the open and says, oh, wait. Are we on? Is it 2 o'clock? We were just kind of kicking it here.
We were kicking it because, often we don't get a chance just to kind of like rap and catch up. So we were talking about the weekend. We were talking about Tim being back in the office. He brought some of that sun with him for them 2 weeks that he was off.
Tim McCollum, president of
Lady James, man. So we're just kind of kicking, talking to Alex, man. And I was looking at some last-minute notes, and it's 2 o'clock.
Look at that. It'll sneak up on you. Sam Reynolds with us, Alex Mayer. Maz is out today. Get well, big guy. We'll see you tomorrow. I will say this. You cannot tune in on YouTube and not notice who Braylon Edwards is rooting for on Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. All L.A. Ram geared up because of his love for, of course, Matthew Stafford, right?
First and foremost, Odell Beckham. Okay, I didn't cheer for the Rams until Odell got there. No, I went to see John over at Pro Sports All-Star. What's going on, John?
Hey, John.
Went to go see him, man, to get a Detroit fitted. They have the new Detroit Old English D hats in. Make sure you stop by Pro Sports Zone and grab you one of those Detroit fitteds. So I went to grab one, and I saw this. This is the shirt that Sean McVay always wears. It's a beautiful color, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go grab that hat and that shirt, and I'm going to cause some ruckus up at Woodward Sports. I'm obviously not cheering for the Rams. Not cheering for the Rams, but I thought that this was a dope look. I'm actually cheering for Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl, but I like this outfit.
Is there, and we're going to talk Super Bowl coming up in a little bit, but I do feel both these teams, because I honestly have not figured out who I'm gonna go all in on and root for in the Super Bowl. I feel like you've got to pick a team, but I might just kind of watch this one, hope for a good game, and then see who it evolves to for me rooting for, whether it's Matthew Stafford or you can't not look at Cincinnati and going from worst to first. And 2 years ago they had the number 1 pick of the draft. I mean, 2 very likable teams, I'd say.
Yeah, 2 very likable teams. And I don't know that I'm cheering for the Bengals right now. I love Joe Burrow. I love what he represents. Like you said, what Cincinnati was able to do this year, worst to first. You look at Burrow. Burrow's probably going to win Comeback Player of the Year. Last year he tells his ACL, and he says, I'll be back. Y'all not getting rid of me that easy. And here he is in the Super Bowl. It's about players for me right now. I'm cheering for Von Miller. Yep. I'm cheering for Odell Beckham. I'm cheering for Joe Burrow. I'm cheering for Joe Mixon. He had a rough path, to get there from college to the draft. He should have been hired, didn't go because of some off-the-field stuff. So it's just like players right now.
And that's why I kind of feel like both these teams are likable teams, because if you look at their rosters up and down, I mean, they've got guys you want to root for. I'd love to see Aaron Donald win a Super Bowl.
Oh, my God. How could you not?
Right. I'd love to see Joe Mixon win a Super Bowl. I mean, these guys these guys who have been through
Wentworth,
absolutely. What is he, 55 years old?
700. So funny story. He and I, same draft class. We actually were at the Pro Bowl, not the Pro Bowl. We were at the what do you call it before the season started? The Playboy All-American preseason All-American.
Did you see Hugh Hefner?
So Hugh doesn't come to that. That's that's a myth.
Okay.
That's a myth. It's in Arizona. It's at Arizona State, which is just as good if you catch my drift. But it was fun, man. He was such a cool guy, man. Andrew Woodward, and he really represented like LSU and that Southern hospitality vibe well. Funny enough, speaking of offensive linemen, you look at Joe Burrow being sacked 52 times this season. That's the most in the NFL. And Matt Stafford has 17 interceptions, which is tied for the most in the NFL. You talking about getting to the Super Bowl despite some things. Man, it's an interesting Super Bowl. That's never happened before, by the way.
Incredible stuff. So we will talk plenty of Super Bowl as the week goes on and in this show as well. But we are going to start with the Michigan Wolverines. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll talk to Sam Webb, host of the Michigan Insider on WTKA. You can follow him on Twitter at SamWebb77. Sam's in the know. He's got a lot of good stuff that he's going to share with our audience, with our listeners, with our viewers on YouTube. So we're going to get that out. Obviously, the news over the weekend broke, and I think I was shocked by it. And I'll say the word shocked. I was shocked by Josh Gattis leaving the University of Michigan football program. He's going to Miami to take on the OC position there. Braylon, you got a thought on that right off the top? Were you shocked, or did this kind of thing hit you in a different way?
I posted this on Twitter and I posted it on Instagram as well. I took some flack for it, but I've been doing that for a long time.
Welcome to the party.
No. I've been doing that for a long time now. I don't care anymore. If I believe in something, I'll go after it. I said this is a domino effect. This is a domino effect of Jim Harbaugh kind of holding up UM's progress, holding them hostage with his, and everyone keeps saying the word flirtatious. They just didn't pay attention to what I said on Friday. So with his flirtation process to the NFL, held the program up. Josh Gattis was a guy that was next in line. A lot of people actually like Josh Gattis. Josh Gattis could have been promoted next, and that's what he's thinking. And then Harbaugh, he comes back in the 25th hour, and then it's this weird, seeming to be toxic relationship between the University of Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, where he's able to do things like that and come back unpunished. If I'm Josh Gattis, I'm like, wow, I was literally knocking at the door. And then when he comes back, it's from speculation and from people, some inside sources, well, they're only offering him another $100,000. So you're only offering him $100,000 more to stay on board when he was about to be the head coach. You look at when you bring in McDonald last year. McDonald's never been a head coach. A coordinator in the NCAA. He made more than Gattis last year. So you're starting to follow this trend, and you're feeling underappreciated. Meanwhile, he's going down to Miami in a situation with Coach Cristobal is going to be well beloved down there. He's a Latin American coach in a Latin American environment, and Miami's always been this close to turning that thing around. So do you want to stay with Michigan and you don't know what they're going on and it seems to be some type of toxic relationship, or do you want to go somewhere, start anew, and maybe, I guess, a lateral move to ultimately get a vertical move? So I think it was a decision that you have to understand based off what we've seen.
Well, here's the deal, too. A lot of people, there's so many questions about this, and we're going to try to clear some of those questions up for you. Was it a strained relationship between he and Jim Harbaugh? Did he feel disrespected by Jim Harbaugh that maybe he wasn't in the know, or was he?
And administration.
Was he disrespected in his mind by the organization? He was not very well paid. When you cut, $600,000 might seem like a lot of money, but it is not very highly thought of. $600,000 for a coordinator, big time college football. I believe he was the 30th highest paid assistant. So he was he was due for a big raise. And was he going to get one? It did not appear to be the case. You mentioned disrespect, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to read for you his text message to the team. I kind of feel like this is a little bit out of bounds myself, but I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Fellas, it's with a broken heart I write this. I'm resigning my position here at the University of Michigan to go to another university. I've given everything I have to you guys and Michigan. I sacrificed so much personally to stand in the fight with each of you I would never take back. Unfortunately, the past few weeks has told me a different story to me about the very little appreciation I have here from administration. In life, I would never advise anyone to be where they're not wanted, and I owe that to my family and the integrity to hold myself to this standard. I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. Our memories will never be forgotten, but our struggles is what makes us who we are today. It's what grew this love and will forever hold it together. I'm the biggest fans of you, the biggest friends of you. Most importantly, I'm one phone call always if you need anything ever. Love you guys. I don't like that, actually, and I'll tell you why. I feel like there's a much more, for lack of a better way to say it, professional way to go out. I feel like he's kind of, slapping everybody in the face on the way out here, and I don't particularly like that.
You know what? It's interesting that no matter what Harbaugh's done, nobody's paying attention to what Harbaugh's done. Everything is about what else around the program is going on. You see Josh Gattis. Josh Gattis is the guy. Before this season, they made every excuse for Josh Gattis in terms of why he wasn't successful. They're talking about fans. It's like, oh, well, he doesn't have his guys yet, and he's trying to get some guys in here, and they're trying to get the right quarterback for the offense. They're trying to get the right system in. Everybody made excuses for him. Now, all of a sudden, you have the situation with Harbaugh, he did what he did in December or January as it relates to trying to flirt with leaving. Now, all of a sudden, Gattis leaves because he didn't like the way in which it played out. And then he has this message. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, he wasn't that good of a coordinator anyway, and blah blah blah. Now all of a sudden that's the message. People have this love affair with this weird relationship with Harbaugh. Like, everything is about other people. Like, you don't like the fact that he did that. He doesn't like the fact the way in which the situation played out. He's talking to his kids. He loves these kids. He's mentored these kids. He's worked with these kids, talked to these kids. He's just telling the kids, like, never be somewhere where you weren't warned. If we treat these kids like as professionals, and we talked last week, the money that they're making, they come from a different mental approach than we did when we were there, talking about myself, talking about Jamie Morrison when we had him on the show. These kids are more grown now. You talk to them differently. He's telling kids, look, man, I love you guys. It wasn't me. At the end of the day, it wasn't appreciation, and never be somewhere you're not appreciated.
I will say this, and I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here. We always want coaches and people to be honest. Then the minute they're honest and we don't like what they say, we kind of call a foul. So I'll call myself out for that because I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth on that. I feel like, you know, if you are unhappy with your contract or whatever, just, you know, leave and say, hey, you know what? It's been nice knowing you. I love you. You have my number. Or hit these kids up privately. I mean, I think this mass text to all of these players eventually is going to get out. So you know what you're doing when you send this text message. You can't possibly send this text message to everybody.
But he sent the text message to his teammate. It was his team, and it was on the verge of being his kids for real if he was going to get the head coaching job up there at U of M. I don't know how much validity in that. But let's just say he was. He sent the message to the kids. They posted. It is what it is. I think we're mad at him for the mess Harbaugh created.
You know what? It's so funny, Braylon. You said now everybody's talking about what a bad coordinator he was. So I'll give you this.
3 years ago.
Let me tell you something.
God.
Wait, let me tell you something. Honestly, the first thing that went through my head when I heard he was leaving was, screw it. He only had 2 good weeks in 3 years. See? I mean, 100%. 2 good weeks in 3 years. Screw it. See ya.
No, it is a very interesting situation. Can't wait to talk to Sam. See what he has to say.
We're gonna do that 30 seconds from now.
It's gonna be fun from August and then November. It's gonna be a fun ride this year.
30 seconds from now. Sam Webb, Ermanni, and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network on a Monday.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
The bottom line. Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet, located in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. GM announced that all new electric Chevrolet Silverado reservations now open on Chevy.com. When you go to that website, step number 2 is going to be select dealership. You're going to want to select Les Stanford Chevrolet because they're going to have one of the largest allocations of that vehicle. Make sure you get in line at Les Stanford Chevrolet. For more, call them today, 313-565-6000, 313-565-6000. Hit them up online, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com,
LesStanford.com. Find new roads.
Find them.
Gotta find them, baby.
We found this guy. He's as dialed in as anybody at the University of Michigan. He's the host of the Michigan Insider on WTKA. You can hear him daily. And, of course, watch his Twitter feed 24/7. He's got all kinds of great material out there. The great Sam Webb joining us now on The Bottom Line. Sam, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for the time.
Man, I'm doing terrible with this green background. Normally I can take it and I can have like a virtual background, but you guys, ruining my rep with all this green behind me. But I do it for my man Braylon, man. So I've been waiting for an opportunity to come on and be on this show. So I'm excited about it.
I was glad to have you, man. Obviously, I did Sam's show back in December. Sam and Tim McCormick, we had a really good time talking and catching up. And then we realized that one of Sam's first interviews, man, was at a Denny's with yours truly.
Man.
I don't even think the number 80 had just come off my back when I was sitting down in this booth to do this interview. I had just got number 1, and Sam, we sat down, so it was a good time. Always good to have you on, Sam.
Man, that's 20 years ago. That's right. It was Braylon and the dad stand at the Denny's over there on Washington. Man, that was the first magazine feature I ever wrote. 20 years
Unbelievable.
ago. Crazy, man. Crazy.
Isn't that this business will take you to places?
Where'd the time go?
Well, you still look good. I still think you could play.
I appreciate that. Thank
Sam,
you.
before I get to the Gattis, let me do this with you.
Yeah.
How would you characterize the last month of the Jim Harbaugh to the NFL saga now that he's back in Ann Arbor and will be for what he says a lifetime?
January 3rd to December 2nd.
Personally, man, it was a test of the marriage. I thought my wife was gonna leave me. I was spending all this time trying to keep up with it, but for Michigan, I think it was fan base, the former player fraternity, like the Braylon is in. I think you could sense a bit of frustration and angst. I think that maybe there was a little bit of disappointment in some circles because here Michigan was coming off a great season. And on the heels of that, Jim was looking at the NFL and said, I know you had some people feeling let down. My opinion was a little bit different because, Jim was upfront about it. He was even telling recruits, I'm going to entertain the NFL. I guess I always was of the mind that he eventually was going to look again. I mean, you talk to college coaches and pro coaches, guys who have done both, and if they have their druthers, man, all things being equal, the majority of them would choose the pros. So I figured he would always look. The iron will never have been hotter, or had never been hotter for him coming off a big season like he just came off of here in Michigan. So it just seemed like the time when it was going to happen. The reason why it took so long is because that's how long it took for the interest to really manifest from the NFL side of things. That's what I thought was most interesting, is that for as much as his name was mentioned with this job and that job and this job and that job, this job and that job weren't really checking for him like that. It really came down to the opportunity with the Vikings that really made things seem like they were aligning at the very end, and it wound up not working out. And now he's back at Michigan. And here's the unique thing about Jim Harbaugh, guys. Whereas you or I don't know how you guys process disappointment. Me, it lingers in some aspects. Something might happen, and then I'm thinking about it for days and weeks and months, sometimes years on end. This dude is different in that he could have, I tried that Vikings thing. It didn't work out. He could switch gears and be right back all in on Michigan and like it didn't happen. Now, that's not everybody else, but certainly Jim can do it that way, and that's what I sense going on.
Talking to my man Sam Webb from the Michigan Insider. Sam, let me take it like this. I don't have to say non-biased because I'm never biased when it comes to Michigan. I say what I feel, whether it hurts people's feelings or not, I don't care. Let me just ask you this question from the standpoint of how he handled it. You see it, you said it took a while, because I agree with you on that. When they first started talking about, hey, the Chicago job, hey, the Vegas job, I'm like, those guys aren't offering Jim Harbaugh. I said, there's nothing there. I didn't feel anything there like you said, so it did take a while. My thing was, I'm hearing conflicting reports coming from players, coming from administration, that they didn't know. They didn't know that he was seriously thinking about taking his job. And so let's say that is the case. Is his, I guess, for lack of his not being forthright with the players, the coaches, on the staff, the guys that were coming in is very different than the guys that are already there. Does that have something to do with now your defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald's, back in Baltimore? Now your guy, Josh Gattis, now he leaves. You see some other coaches leave. You see some players hitting the portal. Do you think that's a direct reflection of Harbaugh and not necessarily being honest once January 1st hit?
So I guess two things. I think that there is a consequence to the dalliance, but I don't make the nexus that you just did, B, because here's what I see. I think Jim Harbaugh was upfront that he was considering the NFL. What he wasn't doing was giving daily updates to everyone like, hey, I'm talking to this team, I'm trying to get in with that team, or this is what's going on. At the very beginning, he said, I'm going to look at the NFL, and then he let that be that. He did not offer a blow-by-blow every single day about what's going on. I think that's how he handles things typically. It does not make for the most seamless environment
Right.
in terms of what you're going to be doing day to day as an assistant coach, or even as a player. It does leave you in limbo, so to speak. But I don't think he was dishonest. I think that, like I said, I think it was a process that was elongated by how long it took those other teams to to show interest. Now, as far as the coaches and feelers from other things, Mike Macdonald had nothing to do with the NFL dalliance. Mike Macdonald came down to what I talked about before. All things being equal, a coach that can coach in college and a coach that can coach in the pros will choose pros 90% of the time, I think, and that was the case for Mike Macdonald. Here you got a coach who just came from the Ravens, who now you got to recruit every day, and you got this grind, this longer grind probably than most college programs have, and you have the opportunity to go back home to the Ravens and coach in the league for John Harbaugh. I mean, it was probably a boost in pay. No brainer for him. I think he's a pro coach. With Josh Gattis, I think part of this is a consequence of Jim looking at the NFL, but not because he was upset that Jim was looking at the NFL. I think that what happened by Jim looking around, it was an opening. It was more of an opening and opportunity for other programs to kind of jump in. They kind of saw it as a vulnerability. Maybe they wouldn't have come as hard if they thought that there wasn't an opening, right? But there was, and Miami came really hard. I mean, like really, really hard, a huge offer, and ultimately one that was too big for him to turn down. And so now he's off on his way to Miami.
Real quick, let me follow up with this. So Jim Harbaugh, and I've talked about this, Jim Harbaugh definitely gives the University of Michigan the best opportunity to win this next coming season and the season after that, especially after the year that he had last year, kind of putting it all together finally. I think he gives you the best opportunity. So while I didn't agree with, the things that he did, I 100% agree with the fact that he's the head coach. He should be the head coach. I'm just looking at things as it relates to the relationship with Harbaugh. Like, is there any cause for concern for future coaches coming in, for future players, recruiting in 2023? When you see a guy before the season, he gets his contract restructured, and he goes from $8 million to $4.3. Then it comes out he was pissed about that, and then he comes back. Then at the end, once the season's over, once you hit January 3rd, now he goes and tries to kind of pursue the NFL. Something comes to the table. You think he's out of here. Gattis might be thinking he's the next coach at Michigan, et cetera, et cetera. Doesn't happen. Now he comes back. Now he's talking in Ward's office, and we get the Adam Schefter tweet that basically says, Jim Harbaugh called Ward and said, hey, look, is the job still open? Do you guys want to have me? Does it just, I'm just looking at it all play out, and it just seems interesting. I'm like, has Michigan put themselves in an interesting situation with Harbaugh that's toxic for the future, or can it be rectified, or is that a loaded question?
Yeah, I mean, I get, it's a question that I think, I think a lot of people are asking. I think there are some people out there that wonder, is this a tale of woe, a sign of trouble? I think if you were playing poker, I think this is a poker game that was a little bit in question. And then at the end of the day, if you're Michigan, you won. I don't think that this was a leverage play by Jim. I think that he was looking to go to the NFL. I think if the Vikings had offered him that job, I think he would have took it. That's just my
100%. 100%.
I agree with you on that.
That's my opinion.
On that.
Yeah.
Now that's my opinion. I want to qualify it as such. I think he would have taken it, but that it didn't happen that way, I don't think is a negative for Michigan. I don't think you got to look at it as a consolation prize, because I don't think that Jim Harbaugh looks at it that way. I think he looked at it as a win-win. Now, here's where Michigan won. You don't have to worry about this dude looking at the NFL anymore. Here's why I say that. This was a cycle where you had multiple teams. You had the Bears with ties to them, right? You had the Raiders with ties to them. You had the Vikings with ties to them. You had, 8 jobs open. And it was at the 23rd hour that an opportunity arose, and then it didn't happen. So now you have Jim Harbaugh saying, look, this will never happen again. He said it publicly. He said it privately. He can ill afford to go back on that word. Because one thing that Jim Harbaugh did, he didn't lie. He never lied. He never lied about his interest in the NFL. So if he were to go back now and look at the NFL, well, that would be a lie. He said he would never do it again. Now, you say what you want about Jim Harbaugh. He has never proven himself to be a liar. I don't expect that to happen now. So you have seen the opportunities in the NFL be very slim. They're only going to get slimmer with age and with time. And then you also have him saying, I'm not going to even entertain it anymore on top of that, which adds to the likelihood that this NFL endeavor or dalliance will never happen again.
Hey, Sam, I got to take a 30-second break. Can we keep you for a couple of minutes?
Man, Ryan and Braylon, I'm here as long as
okay, good.
Let's
Sit
do
tight. 30 seconds.
Don't say that because Maz didn't come in today, so we might need your whole show.
I'll keep you for 2 hours, Sam.
Exactly.
Be careful. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone that you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. That's what you can do at Planet Fitness right now. Membership is only $10 a month.
Only $10.
Only
$10,
$10, Sam. Only
$10,
man. Or also, hey, if you want to flex on them a little bit, you want to pull your black card out. $22.99 with the black card will cost you at Planet Fitness, and this is what it entails: unlimited tanning, hydro massage chairs, and total body enhancements, along with access to over 2,000 locations worldwide. Join today in club or online at www.planetfitness.com. Now open in Midtown Detroit at the Detroit Pistons Performance Center. Right now, $0 down at $10 a month. Go get you some of that non-judgment free stuff we got going on at Planet Fitness. It is the place to be. $10 a month. Join now. PlanetFitness.com.
Everybody on the YouTube chat, we certainly thank you for that. Last week, we were breaking our own Woodward Sports records for likes during the live show. Of course, afterwards when the show goes out, people do what they want with it. But we were breaking records during our live show, all because of you. If you are watching right now on YouTube, smash that like button. It helps 100%. Out our show, and of course, more importantly, the network here, Woodward Sports Network. And look, we're all in on this Michigan talk right now because it has been a fascinating last month, really fascinating weekend with Josh Gattis texting the players, a goodbye and that he wasn't appreciated. Let's bring Sam Webb back in, host of the Michigan Insider on WTKA. You can listen to him there, and of course on Twitter at SamWebb77. Sam, what did you make of the text? I did not like the text to the players personally. I thought there was a little bit more of a you can go out with a little bit more dignity than that. I don't know. Braylon says I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, but I did not like it.
Yeah, so I think that and I know that if you ask Josh, he would say he regrets that. I know he would. Not because he doesn't feel that way, but because it was an overshare. Like you want to make sure that on your way out the door, and this is in any endeavor, that you don't burn bridges, right? And I think that this was an instance where, it was foreseeable that when he sent it out to like 20, 25 players, there are 20, 25 guys on the team. And hell, you guys have 20, 25 people in your life that you can send a message to that they wouldn't send it to anyone else, right?
Yeah.
In anything. So I can't imagine that was the case on the team. You had to anticipate that getting out. And so you don't want, even if it's just selfish interest, you don't want that to affect your opportunities in the future. And so I think that for him, the issue becomes this perception that as he leaves places, he has negative things to say. That was the case coming from back. That was the case coming up from past stops. So that's not me piling on Josh. This is something that we've had discussions about. That it would be, it would be something that comes back on him if he were to, if it were to end ugly. And so I won't say that this was an acrimonious departure per se, but it was one that didn't have to have the sort of messy image that this now has. Because people make financial decisions all the time, guys, and this was, at the end of the day, I think it was a financial decision for Josh Gattis. What did he mean by value me? I think he saw Miami's offer to him as one that, made them, it was a signal to him that they valued him more. Was that right? right, wrong, or indifferent. That's how he saw it. And so, hey, man, people understand you make a financial choice. Unfortunately, people take liberties when you send a message like that where I wasn't wanted. Now people start ascribing meaning to that beyond what it really was. I just told you what it was because he told me what it was. And so this was a financial choice at the end of the day. He goes to a place in Miami that they're in the ACC. It's an easier league. He doesn't have some of the obstacles that you have to deal with. You don't have admissions obstacles. You don't have portal obstacles. You don't have, you don't have some of the NIL obstacles that they've come across. So you can make a case that this would be still a step forward toward being a head coach, even if he doesn't have as much talent down there on that roster as he has in Michigan. But again, you get it. You get why. But 600,000 stacks more, a guy might want to take that route. So that's what he did.
God bless.
Yeah, I just don't like all the back and forth and all the differences. You have a bunch of players saying that they didn't know anything and they didn't find out that Harbaugh wanted to go into the NFL until Twitter happened, January 4th. And you got some players, some coaches in administration said they didn't know. You got some coaches saying they didn't know. Obviously, Gattis is one of those individuals that didn't know. And if Harbaugh did say something to Ward, man, it was 7 years, or not, well, Ward wasn't here, but 7 years ago, and then maybe he reminded Ward before the season. It's very different than telling the players and whatever. I just want everybody to get on the same page, which probably isn't going to happen. So, Harbaugh.
But Braylon, no. Let me be clear. Look, it was never going to be the case that Jim could look at the NFL and there weren't going to be some people that were feeling a certain kind of way about it. You were on a team. You were on a Michigan team,
right.
And your coach stands in front of you and he's talking to you about being all in, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that there are probably some guys that would look back at their coach who looks at the NFL and wonder if he's all in when he does it. And so that's not every guy. Right. It's maybe not even most guys, but it's enough to where when you come back, you do have to address that. And the same thing with your coaches who are good. They're in limbo. As you go through that, as you're looking at the league, their futures are uncertain. So there's some smoothing over to do when that happens. And in this case, I think it comes down to the extensions. In the case of Josh Gattis, again, I think he looked at how the defensive coordinators were paid before him. Both previous defensive coordinators, prior defensive coordinators were paid more than him. I think
Mike McDonald didn't have any experience as a coordinator and comes in and makes more than Gattis year one.
Yeah, but he came from the pros. He came from the Ravens, and
he was unproven though. He wasn't a defensive coordinator. He was unproven.
You're right. That's true. But think about the circumstances that were at play when he came. You had Jim Harbaugh clearly in a make or break year. It's hard to get guys to come work for you in that situation. Right. B. So I mean, you're gonna have to maybe put a little more on the table, and you're getting him to come from the pros. I mean, man, you can't just put down a regular offer. You got to put down a hardcore offer to get a guy like that to come your way. So you understand why those guys were making what they were making. I think what Josh was hoping for is that on the heels of that season, that okay, I'm gonna get my bread up like that too. Well, when the offer came around, it wasn't on par with what Miami's was. Now, if it's me, I'm going to the negotiation table and I'm putting that number on the table and saying this is what they're offering me. Josh didn't do that. He's not a leverage guy. He's not trying to strong arm people. And so I think for him it was he weighed the principle. Okay, how much do you want me? Let me see what you put on the table, and this tells me how much you want me. I think Michigan they were betting blind, right? They didn't know what they were betting against. And you have a situation where you're trying to give a lot of guys raises. I'm not saying that they couldn't have given Josh more. I'm just saying, hey, how much more did they know they needed to give him? That wasn't on the table. At the end of the day, though, what it boils down to is this. He has a great opportunity in front of him. Yeah. You understand why he would take it. I think from Michigan's perspective, I think that Jim likes where Sharon Moore is and is going to be. I think he was looking to have Matt Weiss maybe be the successor to Josh anyway as time went on, because he was telling recruits, look, Josh isn't going to be here that long. Just in the same breath, the same receiver room that he was in Darius Clemens's in-home, top 247 receiver. He told Darius Clemens, his dad, his pastor, he said, I'm going to entertain the NFL. That was in December. He said that. In the next breath, he told him, hey, Josh Gattis might not be around here long. He's going to be a head coach. You got to make this decision, be one that you weigh Michigan. You got to weigh everything because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. And so the dad was like, man, I appreciate that. He was being very, very honest with us about his future. He was being honest with us about the offensive coordinator and receiver coach's future. Yeah. And that kid wound up coming to Michigan. So I think all along Jim has sort of had in his mind, okay, I got to be thinking about who I'm going to move up. That's Matt Weiss. That's Sharon Moore. I think that's going to be your play calling dynamic moving forward. And it just happened to be maybe a year or two sooner than he planned because Josh is on his way to Miami.
I tell you what, they're playing a dangerous game in Ann Arbor. I tell you that.
Talking to Sam Webb, Michigan Insider, host of the Michigan Insider, WTKA on Twitter at SamWebb77. Sam, I want to ask you a big picture question again about Jim Harbaugh and Michigan moving forward. Yeah. You know, he said he always wanted to win a Super Bowl, but now that opportunity has come and gone, college football national championship is the next biggest prize. Can the Michigan Wolverines win a national championship? Can any team outside of the Southeastern Conference or USC now with Lincoln Riley really truly compete in today's college football, or is Big Ten championship the capper at Michigan? You tell me.
Oh, I think it's possible, man. I mean, look, people act like cheating just started here in the 2000s, right? Last I checked, Michigan won a championship in '97. They were cheating hardcore back then too, right? So Lloyd Carr got it done, right? Now he had some great players, and that's what it boils down. You got to have great coaches. The dude who recruited Braylon, you got to have a dude like Foote, right? You got to have great coaches that can go out, recruit players, develop talent, and I think that you got some guys on this staff. Now, this was the biggest advance, I think, for Jim in the last hiring cycle is he got younger and he got better staff chemistry. The players were vibing with the coaches more, and those coaches they grinded more on the recruiting trail. And they got to continue on that theme. You look at Ron Bellamy, one of Braylon's former teammates. Ron comes in and is the recruiter of the year, Braylon, for year one.
Oh, I knew he was
Ron Bellamy comes in and puts it down on the recruiting trail year one. Yeah. Steve Klinkscale, heck of a recruiter, right? Jay Harbaugh's been recruiting his tail off since he got moved up. You got Sharon Moore might be the best recruiter on staff, one of the best recruiters in the country. Accumulate recruiting acumen because you got to be able to go all over. You got to recruit your footprint. Yeah. But you got to be able to go get guys. You got to be able to identify guys that you can develop. And then when they get on campus, you got to be able to develop them. And there were some gaps in that. You got some guys who could develop but couldn't recruit. Some guys who could recruit but not develop. In a couple cases, had a couple guys that couldn't do either. I think he corrected all of that in the last cycle. And hopefully as he rounds out this new staff, he makes sure he stays with that same theme that he picked up last time around.
I definitely agree with you on that in terms of the development was a bigger problem. The recruiting, having guys go in those living rooms, having guys talk to those parents, having guys a connectivity with the new age kid and parent, that has gotten a lot better last year. Jim Harbaugh brought those guys in, so kudos for that, as well as the development. Like, guys were coming here. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Guys were coming here 5 stars and not getting better. Guys were coming here 4 stars and not getting better. You saw guys get better from August, or actually July to December last year. You definitely saw that. But going back to that Lloyd stuff, it was a lot easier when national championship back then when you playing against Washington State with no run, with no starting running back and no starting receiver. Hold on now, don't get me started. Yes.
No, but listen, you know what? Yeah. You know what wasn't any easier? Ohio State been balling like that for as long as I've been alive, man. Except for a brief period in the 80s. Cool. Certainly throughout the 90s, they had ball players, and Michigan was still beating them. I mean, I know you know guys, you talk to guys on those teams, Braylon. They say, man, them dudes had more talent than us.
Yeah.
And Michigan still found a way to beat them, time after time after time again. And so, coaching, development.
Yeah.
Game plan, belief. I think belief is a big part of it, man, because I think belief suffered. When they lost in 2016, I really felt like the belief suffered. I think that doubt started to creep in about whether or not they can do it. And then when you start getting beat bad, like they did in 19, 18 and 19. Yeah. Now the doubt really, really gets bad. And so they had to rehab that, man. You had to rehab that with guys like Hassan Haskins. When you go back to 2019, go back and look at that game and see who was still balling, in the fourth quarter when the game seemed out of reach. It was a guy like Hassan Haskins. And then get other ball players that could come in and have that belief. Guys like Aiden Hutchinson that's beating the brakes off the dude across from him. That kind of thing can be infectious. And now you got to build on it. Doing it once is great. Can you do it again and again and again like they did back in the day? That's going to be the measure moving forward.
That will be. Hey, Sam, last thing. Any truth to the rumor about Jim Harbaugh potentially courting Larry Foote to be the defensive coordinator?
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, you talk about a dude doing cartwheels. When I heard he talked to Foote, he reached out to Foote, and Foote took I asked Foote back in 2019 when Al Washington left, because couldn't nobody get in touch with Al, man. I know Al was agonizing about the decision, and then it got to a point where I guess when he went in the bunker, he wasn't talking to anybody, so you couldn't get Al on the phone, you couldn't talk to him. So at that point, I just reached out blindly to Foote. I didn't even know if Al had left yet, because you couldn't get in contact with him. And so I said, Foote, if Al goes, would you come back to Michigan as linebackers coach? And at that point, he said to me, only way I ever come back to Michigan is to be the defensive coordinator or the head coach, right? So fast forward to this year, defensive coordinator job's open. Jim Harbaugh did reach out last month, but the circumstances are different. Now Larry Foote is one of the most coveted sort of position coaches in the league. He is on track to be an NFL coordinator. And like I just said with Mike McDonald, man, once you get those guys that are longtime pros, even a guy that's a Michigan guy like Foote, it's hard to get them to come back, man. I mean, it becomes a quality of life thing, because you got to recruit. You're a dad to these players too. It's not like that in the league. I mean, you just don't have the same kind of. You actually get somewhat of an off season, some downtime. There is not nearly as much downtime for guys when they come to college. So I think that's where it is with Foote. There was some talk that he was going to be Byron Leftwich's DC if Byron got a job. That seems to not be in the cards right now, but as it stands, I still think that Foote, talking to a lot of Braylon's brothers, they're saying that Foote is making it real clear that, man, he probably is going to stick it out in the pros.
There's one thing that I need to happen, and I've been waiting for it to happen. When I left Michigan, Eric Campbell left Michigan when Lloyd left Michigan. Okay, Eric Campbell was the best wide receivers coach that I think the NCAA has always seen. I don't have to go down the list of players that he coached over 1,000 yards, first-round draft picks, et cetera, in the league. And they brought him back, and they didn't bring him back as wide receivers coach. Harbaugh brought him back in 2015 as more of a consultant job or position. Then you bring in Ron Bellamy last year, who I'm excited about because Ron Bellamy was a disciple of Eric Campbell. He knows the lay of the land. And then I found out they put him in a defensive meeting room. I was like, what the hell is going on? So one thing that Jim Harbaugh has to do.
Make it right, coach.
And I've had birdies chirping. You got to put Ron Bellamy in the wide receivers room because it's going to help those wide receivers. I still haven't seen that growth at that position. So when Harbaugh does that, I close my mouth on Harbaugh.
Make it right, coach.
Make it right, baby.
Bellamy to the wide receivers.
I'm about to bridge this gap between you and Jim here, Braylon. That's happening, bro.
Yeah.
That's happening. Ron Bellamy's going to receivers coach, man. Now to be clear, what Ron would tell you that, hey, man, I played DB at Michigan. Now, you remember Ron's freshman year.
He came out as a guy.
Yeah, he did play DB. You'll see Ron.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear nothing about Vance Bedford and Terrell Austin. I don't hear nothing about that. I want to see the great teaching tapes of Eric Campbell come back to Michigan in the form of Ron Bellamy. And I can't wait. I'm excited, baby.
You know the problem? I shouldn't even call it a problem. It's the skill that Ron is going to have to show, even more so than Gattis. It's the how do you make sure everybody eats, because they're loaded. Think about this. You talk about development. Ronnie Bell was on his way.
Yeah,
Braylon. I mean, that dude was about that first game. Oh my God, he was on his way to a fantastic season, and he blew his knee out. He's gonna be back. Now you're also coming back with Cornelius Johnson is back, right? Andrell Anthony. You saw him in the Michigan State game.
Yep.
He's back. Roman Wilson. You saw some big plays from him. He's back. A.J. Henning, he's back. I mean, you look at the freshmen That top 247 kid, Darius Clemens, who chose Michigan over Oregon and Auburn and all those schools. He's in. The kid down in Louisiana that Ron went to get, Amarion Walker. He's in. Man, they are loaded in the receiver room. So the question then becomes, all right, Ron, how do you make sure everyone eats? Here's the fortunate thing. I think Michigan's going to throw it around the yard more this year because they're going to have to be more explosive. They're going to have to put more points up on the board. They were explosive last year, but in a different kind of way. They're going to have to be explosive throwing, more explosive throwing the football more frequently too. They'll tell you they led the league or the country in plays of 50+ yards or more. They're going to have to put up more yardage. You remember the Michigan State game and they threw for 380? The next week, Purdue came out and threw for 500+ on Michigan State. Michigan is going to have to be able to do stuff like that next year.
They'll do so with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback, right, Sam?
See, the good note.
Amen. Look, here's what I know. There has got to be a wide open competition. There's no disrespect intended to Cade McNamara when I say that, because he quarterbacked this team to a Big Ten championship. And not to poo-poo that. But you got a kid with difference-making talent, and they're going to have to be more quarterback dependent this year. Look at the Georgia game, and look at Michigan's game plan. Look at when Josh Gattis came in and all the RPOs he was running. You look at the RPO game plan. I think they may have run 4 in the game, 4 RPOs in that game. Georgia ran 13 in the first half, 13 RPOs in the first half. If you ask Josh Gattis, he's like, man, I want to do that. Right. But you got to cater to that was the biggest maturation of Josh Gattis. Catering the scheme to his team. Don't ask them to do some things they can't do, right? Not do effectively, consistently. He did that by emphasizing running the football. This coming year, you got to be more quarterback dependent. Is that Cade McNamara? Could be, but you got to make sure you got to give JJ a shot to see if it's him. And man, I think he's going to have a hard time holding that young whippersnapper back, because I'm with you. I think JJ McCarthy is going to be the guy.
I think so, too.
The good news about Ron Bellamy's job isn't to come up with the players. His job is to get those players ready when they do call those plays, and that's what he's going to bring.
Get them ready.
Man, talking about getting your feet over, your eyes over your feet at the top of the breaks, running intermediate routes as well as deep
Killing
routes.
your feet.
That's his job. Dead feet on the sideline. What you know about the dead feet on the sideline?
Dead feet. I know about dead feet. All right, hey Sam, we gotta run, man. I can't thank you enough for the time.
This has been great.
Let me tell you something. Ryan, I come on for you, but Braylon could call me, man. I could be on a yacht somewhere. Braylon like, hey man, Sam, I need you to come on. I'm here, man. I'm there. No question.
Amen to that. We're doing this again real soon.
I hit you one of them Stephen Ross phone calls, man. Come check me out on the bus.
Sam Webb, everybody. Listen to him. Host of the Michigan Insider on WTKA and, of course, on Twitter at SamWebb77. Thanks so much, Sam. We appreciate it. Got to get to a break. Come right back. We're going to react to a little bit about what Sam said. Also, the Larry Foote thing intrigues me greatly. We'll talk about that as well. And, hey, what it really does mean if Ron Bellamy, if what Sam Webb said is true and Ron Bellamy's going to be in the wide receiver room, what impact will that have on those players moving forward? Lots of Super Bowl talk in hour number 2 as well. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Here at Woodward Sports, we're always up for a good cause and a good time. This year we present the 2022 Cuba Sunday Run. Yeah, you heard right. Time to get in our underwear and run the streets of Detroit. For the last 12 years, we've stripped down, ran in the cold, and partied to raise money to help fund research to end NF. February 12th, join the staff from Woodward Sports and hundreds of other beautiful people downtown at the Tin Roof. You can register as an individual or your team today at woodwardsports.com. So start doing those squats, sit-ups, or just some 12-ounce curls. And get ready for Cupid Sunday Run 2022. Sponsored by the awesome people at Gypsy Vodka, Cintron, and Planet Fitness. We'll see you February 12th at the Tin Roof. In our underwear. Thank you to Chili Peppers Tanning.
Hey gang, it's Sam here for the Foaling Warehouse
What?
in Hamtramck.
You're doing good, Sam. Keep going,
Kill it,
buddy.
Sam.
home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling, which means you basically throw a football at bowling pins and knock them down. Doesn't that sound fun to everybody? Isn't it fun, guys?
Yeah. Yes.
Hell yeah.
You can
Smash.
You can host your corporate party, team building event, or just come in with family and friends. I know we all had a corporate party at Foaling a little bit before I got there, but I know it was a good time, and we're going to go back again soon. There are 2 ways to play. $10 unlimited open play, which means you can come in when it opens and stay the whole time and play for just $10. And I know all of you, $10 for a full day of fun, you'd take that any day of the week. Or a private lane reservation for $120 for up to 10 people for 2 hours. They have over 100 beers, their $2 mystery beer machine, and multiple full bars. You bring the food or have it delivered in. Come get your full on. Check it out at foalingwarehouse.com.
Come get your full on.
Good job, Sam.
That's what I'm talking about,
Way to get it. And a shout out to Tom Mazawey,
yes, sir,
who is out today. We certainly wish he is on the mend. That's absolutely the case. Guys, thanks so much. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on 99.1, 93.5, or 94.7 HD2 FM, we certainly appreciate that. We are on the radio, on the Roar, from 6 to 8:30 p.m. And, of course, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, all of them.
All that good stuff.
All that good
stuff.
Check us
out, man.
You know where to find us. The Larry Foote thing is interesting to me because back in 2019, he said he would come back to Michigan if he was a coordinator or the head coach. And then, several years go by the wayside and you get used to the NFL. I don't blame Larry Foote one bit for wanting to remain in the NFL if that's what he wants to do with his life and his career, because it does come down to a quality of life situation. I just feel like Larry Foote to the University of Michigan is a slam dunk for him.
Right.
Is a slam dunk for the players on the University of Michigan football team. And just you can't have more of a home run hire than Larry Foote if that was able to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what a slam dunk looks like for U of M anymore. Yeah, I think it's been a lot with this Jim Harbaugh situation. We don't know what moving forward with Jim Harbaugh after this year, 2023. We don't know what that climate or that atmosphere is going to look like up there. So I don't know anymore what's a slam dunk. What I do know is I know my brother Larry Foote. I know he's a great coach now. He was a great player. He's very committed. He's the defensive mind. He's going to be a heck of a coach. But as you see now, it's tough to, especially as a black man, we talked about last week, it's tough to lead the NFL, get back to the NFL. So I think for Larry Foote, it makes sense to stay in the NFL. He's getting closer and closer and closer to getting that defensive coordinating job in the NFL, which for black players has led to head coaching jobs. Lovie Smith, right back at it again. He might be the head coach of Texans. So I think it makes sense for him to stay in the NFL and try to pursue it that way. Obviously, as Michigan fans, we would love to see our brother back in the Mason.
And again, that's he's my age, Larry Foote, 42, 43 years old. I mean, we were at Michigan together. So he can't be more than 43 years old.
Yeah, he should be 41.
42, 40. He's a year younger than me.
Yeah, so he graduated. He was in 98.
Yeah, so I'm 97. Yeah. Unbelievable if they could get that. And then I've heard Jim Schwartz's name being bandied about as well for a possible defensive coordinator job
under
at
Jim
the University
Harbaugh?
of Michigan.
After that infamous handshake?
Wouldn't that be something? Maybe they patched it up. Nonetheless, you mentioned NFL coaching. Lovie Smith got the job in Houston, or at least that's what's being reported.
Right.
Lovie Smith to the Houston Texans. I want to talk about some coaching news. I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, Lovie Smith, I'm going to read for you a list of coaches in the Super Bowl era that have been head coaches for 3 different organizations. Lovie Smith is going to join an elite group of coaches. We'll do that next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, The Bottom Line.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Big names, bigger opinions. It's The Bottom Line on Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Chili Peppers Tanning. That's where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D, spotless, sanitized rooms, and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. And don't forget to pick up that Australian Gold Designer Skin, California Tan, and Swedish Beauty lotions. That's right. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters. 26 locations and more coming. In fact, there's a new grand opening on Berkeley between 11 and 12 Mile Road. That's where Big D Energy is going to be broadcasting live from on Monday, February 21st from 11 to 1. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. So, some coaching news. There is another team who's checking off their list when it comes to head coaches. Lovie Smith, the former head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the former head coach of the Chicago Bears, not to mention the Illinois Fighting Illini, going to get his third head coaching job in the NFL. He'll be named the Houston Texans head coach. That's per Adam Schefter, Field Yates, Ian Rappaport has that as well. Braylon,
look at that luxurious beard.
I actually forgot that he was the head coach of the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Yeah.
But that puts him in line now to be the sixth head coach in the modern era to have coached three different teams. Marty Schottenheimer has over 200 wins, one of the all-time winningest coach. Mike Shanahan, a couple of Super Bowl champs. Yep. Bill Parcells, a couple of Super Bowl champs. Pete Carroll, because many people forget he coached the Jets.
Yeah, the Hess family.
Won a Super Bowl championship and been to another one. And then John Fox is a name on this list that will probably stump you a little bit. But he got the Carolina Panthers to a Super Bowl as well.
He won Super Bowl 50.
He won the Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl winning head coach.
Super Bowl 50.
So Denver, Carolina, and Chicago for John Fox. Yeah, interesting list.
6 people on that list, man. That's a tough. That tells you how hard it is. But everybody on that list, man, they're pretty much Hall of Famers. You know, they've worn their medal, man, on the field. They've coached and they've had teams to get to that dance, man. You name some coaches in there that have been more than one. Everybody on that list has been to at least one Super Bowl.
Yep.
So a hell of a list, man. And you know, congratulations to him. Good for him. You know, he did. It's almost like doing a sentence. It's like a prison sentence. He did a prison bid. That's what I call a University of Illinois.
Oh man,
that's what I call a prison sentence.
Seriously.
He was out there. I want to say 7 years. I mean, somewhere 6-7 years. Kept getting a job. It's just hard to recruit in Illinois, man. When you have Northwestern's right there, you have Iowa's close, you have Notre Dame's right there. Ohio State poaches that area at all times. So it's just really hard to pull talent to Illini, man. Here he is back in the big show once again.
The Dolphins have agreed to a deal to hire San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel. They'll make him their next head coach. So that means there is one left. The New Orleans Saints. I'm not sure who gets that job, who's even in the mix.
Who wants it?
For that job. Who wants that
job? It's a tough job, man.
Well, look, you know, we say who wants it. There's one of 32, right? I mean, like I would say who would want the Jags job or who would want who wants that Houston Texans job? I mean, that's a
Lovie Smith.
Disaster. yeah, right, Lovie Smith. But when you're one of 32, somebody's going to want that job, and we'll see. But Lovie Smith, he gets a job. Mike McDaniel, and again, Lovie Smith, not only for a couple of different reasons, but his age. I mean, if you look at all these coaching hires now, I mean, Lovie Smith is not a young man anymore. I don't know how old he is, but he's got the Santa Claus beard.
It's very luxurious. That beard was very, very luxurious. He's definitely an older man. If I had to guess, I think he's upwards of 56. Somewhere around 56, 57. He's got to be around the same age as Harbaugh.
All right, we're going to guess right now. I'm going to guess.
I'm going 58.
I'm guessing 59. What do you say, Alex? Oh, you got the answer.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yes.
63.
63.
And to answer your question, Braylon, he was at Illinois for 5 seasons, and he had a losing record in all 5 of those. Yeah. I'm not that smart. I learned that on SportsCenter.
Man, we needed you to be like stat boy, at the end of PTI when they come up with the corrections.
He was like, where you got it wrong. No, I mean, it's Illinois.
63 years old. You don't see too many head coaches in the NFL being hired at that age anymore.
Illinois is a tough place to win, though, man. Like I said, if you just look at the hub, like where they're located, nobody's going to Illinois. Like they're in an area where you're either going to Iowa, You're going to Notre Dame. You might come to Michigan. Like, that's where you're going to go. Not to mention, they haven't had a winning season, like winning since 2008. We're talking Vontae Davis, or really has been.
But they played in the greatest college overtime game of all time.
Oh, my God, against Penn State?
9 overtimes of 2-point conversions.
That was horrible.
One of the worst you'll ever see.
And they won. They beat James Franklin.
And they won. Speaking of winning, there was a game yesterday in the National Football League. It was called the Pro Bowl, but so many different people have taken issue with the game yesterday, if you could even call it a game. I want to get Braylon's take on this because he actually played in a Pro Bowl when they played a game for the Pro Bowl. I want to hear your perspective on that. What do you make of all these former players kind of just destroying what happened yesterday, and get your take on what happened yesterday on the field as well? Ermanni and Edwards.
It was interesting. Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
An event, 10 years in the making. Sunday, February 13th, Woodward Sports, Gypsy Vodka, and Syntron present the Stafford Bowl.
Hurry up!
Live broadcast at the Brass Rail in Detroit.
Hey, keep stacking these drives now. Keep stacking these drives. Gotta have good ones every time we touch the ball.
Come out with all of your friends for our pregame and stay for the watch party.
Big drive right here, all right? We got to keep pouring it on. Good fundamentals. Let's punch another one in. All right, big drive. Let's go.
The entire Woodward staff will be at the Brass Rail as Matthew Stafford and the Rams take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Come experience the Stafford Bowl on massive big screens, drinks, pizza, and DJs. One day, the Lions will make it there. Until then, we have Matthew Stafford and the Stafford Bowl.
Let's go! That's unbelievable! That's unbelievable, and you know it. You know it is, though.
See you Sunday at the Brass Rail with Woodward Sports.
SMA has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues around mental health and substance use disorder. With help from NFL alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. You see Lomas Brown right there, Michael Ealy, actor, Devin Gardner, former University of Michigan Wolverine, and myself. We have been some of the ones that have been advocating with SMA for the health, for mental health disorder as well as substance abuse disorder. So we've been working hand in hand, stride for stride, and we're making a lot of change, and we see the change impact the community. Soon coming to Woodward Sports, the sports marketing agency podcast. This is the F Word series on fentanyl. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com. Thesportsma.com.
All right, so the Pro Bowl was played.
That Stafford Bowl is fun.
You're ready.
So I was supposed to be in Columbia for the Super Bowl. I was going to Columbia with my boy Nader. We were going out there. And then my sister announced that she was doing her gender reveal.
Oh, yeah.
And so now I was like, oh, okay, well, I can't go to Columbia. And my sister's having the gender reveal, so it's supposed to be before the game started on Sunday. Well, she's no longer having that because the doctor said they're still about a week and a half, 2 weeks away. So you can't give false information. So now, looks like my schedule might be free to join that Stafford Bowl at the Brass Rail, man. Little Woodward Sports action right there, man.
Braylon Edwards.
I got my outfit.
Braylon Edwards representing the bottom line at the Stafford Bowl. We'll look forward to the stories that we'll get from there.
I'll change the halftime, put like Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow on.
Whoever's winning, that's who I'm going with.
There you go.
Everybody on the YouTube chat, thanks so much. We've got Lion Rumble, Mark Ellis, Tammy Chen, Doug Kaler, Justin, Gromit. Man,
it's crowded up in there, man.
Gromit's up in there, man. Sheesh. I think Gromit.
What's the admission fee? Is there an admission fee to get on the get in the comment section?
No, it's free. You can totally
free?
It's totally free.
Man.
You can go into the YouTube chat. We love everybody on there. Thank you guys so much. Smash that like button for us. It helps us out, and it helps out the network. We are coming up, by the way, on 20,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We've got
right there,
19,500 plus subscribers on YouTube, and we thank every single one of you guys. Can't thank you enough for that. Again, it really helps us here at the network, and we're trying to grow, and you're growing with us, and it's just a match made in heaven, I guess, if you will. Party with Braylon, says Adam Morrissey. Let's go.
Turn up, man. Turn up, as they say.
Stafford Bowl, more like Cooper Kupp and Lamar. Anyway, guys, I wanted to talk about this Pro Bowl, but I was actually dying to get your take on this, Braylon. Yesterday, I was watching this game for a little bit with my jaw wide open like this. What was that yesterday? And if you don't want to play, don't play in the game. If you're afraid you're going to get hurt, don't play in the game. But that was, in my opinion, and if you're watching on YouTube, you're getting a look right now at what we saw yesterday compared to what you saw in 2009. Boom! Sean Taylor laying the smack down on
layeth the smacketh down
candy ass over there. Right? I mean,
that's terrible.
Look at that in a Pro Bowl. I mean, it was a glorified touch football game yesterday, and I'm not sure how that evolved. And I understand the players are making a crap ton of money. They're making a crap ton of money these days, and you know what? You don't want to get hurt in the Pro Bowl. I understand. I almost believe you could get hurt more doing that than playing full go.
Yeah, apparently Alvin Kamara hits harder off the field. But if whoa. If you're going to play like this is more so what you have to do, Ryan. Mm-hmm. You just have to announce that it's going to be flag football and 7-on-7. That way you give the consumer, you give the fans, you tell the players, hey, this is what we're doing. So now the fan knows. The fan knows when I watch the game, I'm going to be watching flag football, which means if I don't want to watch that product, I don't have to watch it. I know what I'm coming into. That way, if you make the excuse, I want to protect the players, and we want to protect them, then now it makes sense. You're protecting the players and you're offering this as an option. I mean, look at NHL. NHL has I watched that all weekend. From the skills challenge on Friday to the game itself. They go divisional. They play. Each team has a division. Play against each other. The winner plays in the championship against each other. Like, that was fun to watch. And they got it. Like, they had that very understanding. They have a strong understanding of what they want to do and what they don't want to do. And they don't want to get players hurt, but they still want players on the ice. They still want to have kind of like the feel of what NHL hockey looks like. It looked awful. And a lot of the guys like Deion Sanders made a lot of comments about it, and he talked about wanting to be prime against the best players, wanting to prove that prime time is prime time for real. So you go, if you're going to do this, you got to go flag football, or else give the people what they want to see. When you watch a Pro Bowl, you want to watch Jalen Ramsey lined up against Cooper Kupp. You know what I'm saying? You won't get, I mean, obviously you may not get a chance to see that unless you go back to when they were able to pick their teams and you could pick set players from different conferences. But if you want to see the best against the best, then you got to go back to the tackling, because that thing right there, I don't know what the hell that was.
Well, you mentioned Deion Sanders. He tweeted during the game yesterday. He said, "Lord help me, I'm watching the NFL Pro Bowl, and I remember when we were so proud and appreciative of that accolade. We went to Hawaii to prove we were more worthy, so we competed at practice and in the game. I wanted you to know that prime was prime. What happened and when?" When you played, Braylon, you guys played hard. You said you got smacked.
Yeah, so because, you know, they don't pick special teams play. I mean, they have a special teams player for each team, but they don't pick special teams players to do kickoffs and punt returns. So they put guys that are the young Pro Bowl players on kickoff. So I had to go down there on kick return and block for Josh Cribbs, our kick returner, and I also had to go down and tackle Devin Hester as on kickoff return. I got smacked by Roy Williams. Roy Williams, safety that used to play for Oklahoma, played for the Bengals as well as the Cowboys, and he hit me under my chin and let me know. I was like, oh, so y'all do hit out here. So this is real. Okay. So I had to bring it. I had to step up the rest of the game. But it was an ugly product. Like, it looked weird. And you got Mac Jones coming through, and it was like watching 7-on-7. Like, when you watch 7-on-7 before the season starts, and you never know if the quarterback has gotten hit yet. So quarterback gets to take a little bit longer because you're like, you would have been sacked. So I didn't like it.
The one thing about that game, too, is I felt like Micah Parsons was going a little bit harder than everybody else.
Like Sean Taylor.
Yeah. And when you don't – see, that's where, you know, when I say you have more of a chance to get hurt in a game like that than a full go game, because you have people going at different speeds.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have every single person on the same page, that could be a problem for you. At one point I saw, I think it was Kirk Cousins maybe, but Micah Pollard was, I want to say it was Kirk Cousins. Maybe it wasn't. But, you know, there was a time where Parsons just was about to sack him or hit his arm or something like that. And then ultimately he didn't, but he tried to.
Yeah.
And if he connected, man, Cousins probably shoulder is out of his socket because he's lollygagging out there doing what he's doing. I just, when you go half go, when you're not going full go, it's a problem, I think, if everybody's not on the same page specifically.
Yeah, because you can hurt yourself. Him trying to pull off of Cousins can cause him to get hurt. Because now he's pulling off of Cousins. He's coming in there full speed. He's rushing full speed. He's trying to get to him. He's trying to get a sack, trying to get Cousins on the ground. And then at the last second, he kind of feels that Cousins isn't going hard. So now he's pulling up. He can tear a hamstring. He can tear a groin. He can pull a muscle. He can, as he's trying to slow up, and you never know what can happen. So to your point, got to be on the same page, because all it takes is one guy on the wrong page, and you have a collision like no other.
You know, one of the things, too, this weekend was the Senior Bowl. The national team beat the American League, the American team 20-10. But one of the things about this is now that the Senior Bowl week of practice is done, there are more and more mock drafts that are coming out post Senior Bowl. We will get to some of those. ESPN has the Lions picking one guy. CBS has the Lions picking another guy. I mean, it's just all over the place.
Any of these guys Malik Willis?
None of them are Malik Willis, but it is so funny that with these mock drafts, what do we say? There's not really game-changing first-round talent. Higher and higher and higher and higher. I saw Malik Willis going 6 at one point. You know, before you know it, you're going to get to 2. We're going to talk about some of these mock drafts and who is next in line to go from worst to first. Lots of NFL as well. Worst to first. The Bengals, worst to first.
Yep.
Who's going to do that next year?
Uh-oh. Is it going to be a team that wears Honolulu blue and silver?
We have that option. Ermanni Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Braylon catches TDs.
On the slant, there goes Braylon Edwards. Edwards on a foot race, and no one's going to get near him. 80 yards for the touchdown.
Ryan catches Pokemon. We all have our strengths. The bottom line on Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Precision haircuts. This place is wicked awesome. And, hey, maybe your barber is closed today because on Sunday and Monday they're closed. Not here, baby. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you need a haircut
7
today.
days a week?
Yep, 7 days a week. We never close here. 7 days a week. If you want a haircut on a Monday, you know what you could get on a Monday? A haircut. A precision haircut.
Can you get one on Sunday?
If you want a haircut on Sunday, Braylon,
yes,
you can get a haircut on a Sunday.
My barber's closed on Sunday, man.
That's right. They're not closed here. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Several locations throughout Metro Detroit and all across the country. Look for one nearest you. Lady Jane's. This place is wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
So more information coming out after the Senior Bowl. We've got more mock drafts. We'll obviously, ramp up with our Lions coverage and the mock drafts. As Brad Holmes said earlier this week, the Rams, we know they're getting ready for a Super Bowl, and we're here getting ready for the Senior Bowl. So there's a lot going on, and hopefully one day soon, the Lions are in that spot. But Braylon Edwards, there are 2 mock drafts that I want to give you a sense of what's happening. Which one do you want first, the CBS or the ESPN?
Let's go CBS.
CBS has a stunner.
Okay.
A stunner, I tell you.
Stone cold.
Coming up The number 1 player in the draft will be selected by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who do you think they're going to take? Aiden Hutchinson?
No.
Kayvon Thibodeau?
Nope.
Evan O'Neal? Or
Nope.
Evan Neal?
Nope.
Nope. They are taking Ikem Ekwonu.
What?
From NC State. The offensive tackle from NC State.
Wow.
So they are saying that he is just too good to pass up. The safest pick, and they need to get a left tackle. So there he is, Ekwonu,
right,
from NC State.
Left tackle from NC State. You know, and we talked about this. You know, having those top first 3 or so picks in this draft, a draft where they've already said, you know, there's no game changers, there's no, which is a fair term, which is an unfair term, but I get what they mean. They mean there's not going to be anybody that grades out to a 93, a 94, a 95, a 92. So now you got to find what works for you best. Is it trading your pick? Is it finding a pick within the picks like that? This is a steal they found. They watched the Senior Bowl, they watched the bowl game, they've gone back and they've done some homework, they watched some more film on this left tackle, and they decided this is the guy for us. This is what we need. We don't need to trade our pick. We're not going to be able to get what we want for that pick. We got to protect Trevor Lawrence. Let's go ahead and get this left tackle. Let's make this our guy. Let's go with it as our guy. And I think they're making a smart move. Don't be forced into a pick. Just because Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermanni say, hey, you got to take Kayvon Thibodeau because you have to take Aiden Hutchinson. Don't be forced into a pick. Take time. Take a step back. Do some more research, watch some more film, ask your quarterback, hey, Trevor, when you see this guy on film, what jumps out at you? And if this is what you guys have done, it's great. It's a great opportunity.
What's interesting about that pick, too, and this CBS has the Lions selecting Aiden Hutchinson, number 2 overall. And then at number 3, Houston Texans selecting Evan Neal. Kayvon Thibodeau going 4 to the Jets. One thing about this is apparently, like, the Jets want an offensive lineman. They're desperate for one of these 2 offensive tackles. So one of the things that it signals to me is, could the Lions maybe find a draft trade partner in the Jets and move back a couple of spots and maybe accumulate a pick if the Jets are absolutely just positive that they need one of those. They need to get to the number 2 spot to make sure that they get one of those 2 offensive tackles at the top of the draft. It's a potential trade partner that you could see there. The first quarterback going off the board in this CBS mock draft is Malik Willis. I want to get to that in a second.
So crazy that the Jets need an offensive lineman. I remember when I was there a couple of years. I mean, obviously, I guess it was longer than a couple of years ago. They had Alan Faneca, DeBrickashaw Ferguson. You had
Virginia Tech.
Exactly. You had Virginia. Then you had from Ohio State. Why can't I think of his name right now? He annoys the hell out of me.
Mangold?
All we do is argue on Twitter.
Mangold?
Nick Mangold.
Yep.
You had Nick Mangold. Like, you had Damian Woody. Damian Woody plays sometimes. Like, man, that was a great offensive
Solid
line.
offensive line. In ESPN, so again, just a couple of themes here. ESPN has the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Evan Neal at number 1. So again, both CBS
tackles,
and ESPN, regardless of the player, they have them taking an offensive tackle. So that would mean the Lions would have their choice between edge rushers, Kayvon Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson, if that's the case. CBS says Aiden Hutchinson, ESPN says Kayvon Thibodeau. So there's just still so much more to be decided. In this ESPN mock draft, they have Malik Willis going number 6 to the Carolina Panthers. Malik Willis going number 11 to the Washington Redskins. Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It happens.
Washington Commanders at number 11. Now, this quarterback thing is totally intriguing to me, okay? Because if you think back to the draft when Patrick Mahomes was drafted,
right?
Do you remember some clamoring that teams had to get Patrick Mahomes?
No, I mean, the Chiefs moved up to get him, but they didn't move up super far. I mean, I think Practice was drafted, 11? 12?
I think 10.
10, yeah.
So he was, but still, like,
no.
They were really
Kind of like
the outliers, right? I mean, that was Mitchell Trubisky and the Chicago
Bears moved up.
Yeah, the Bears moved up to get Mitchell Trubisky that year. Can you imagine Patrick Mahomes in a Bears uniform? Oh, my God, please.
Lamar Jackson sitting at 32.
Do you remember, because I do, and I don't remember any talk about Justin Herbert.
Outside of Brian Flores? No. That's the only time I heard about is Brian Flores.
Justin Herbert. I mean, honestly, it was Tua, and more Tua. Nobody was talking about Justin Herbert. Yeah. Maybe as like a third or fourth best quarterback option. He's an Oregon guy. These Oregon guys don't work. Joey Harrington, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, just because these guys, Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, aren't, oh my God, these are Trevor Lawrence can't miss players. I mean, even Lamar Jackson, honestly, for as good as he was in college, I mean, where's he going to get taken? And I think he was in the 20s, Lamar Jackson. 32 to the Baltimore Ravens. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, just because we don't fawn and glow over these quarterbacks doesn't mean there's not potentially a franchise-altering quarterback in this draft.
Hey, that's true. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's just us coming up with, it's not one in there. I think it's us watching games. You watch Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett. It was awful. It wasn't a good-looking game. I watched Sam Howell this year. Sam Howell struggled this year. He did not look the same. Now, granted, his two starting wide receivers and starting running backs both went to the NFL, but I still didn't see enough that warranted this guy being a franchise quarterback and this guy being number one pick. Kenny Pickett came on strong at the end of the year. If anybody could have been a first-round quarterback, I thought Kenny Pickett would be one later on in the rounds, maybe somewhere 18 to 32. Thought he looked like he was good there. Matt Corral, he did this all year. He did that all year, even in the bowl game. So for me, I just didn't see it there, and I still haven't seen it. Maybe I didn't pay enough attention to the Senior Bowl and really dive into watching Malik Willis. But I think sometimes when the talent isn't there, people start to move up a little bit. People starting to go back and see things like, well, maybe this guy is a little bit better. Is that guy better because you did research and you found out that guy is better, or is that guy better because there's no one there? Now you're making these players seem to be a little more shiny and to be better players. I don't know.
Malik Willis was the clear winner of last week. I
believe.
100%. Clear winner. I mean, he went from the third best quarterback coming into the year to a quarterback that was going to be the fifth best quarterback. And now, in this last week, he is the clear-cut number one quarterback of this draft, seemingly right now.
But that goes back to this. The average time that wins the 100 at the Olympics is going to be somewhere between 9.97 and 9.85. That's going to be the average time that wins. If 1 year nobody's fast and you win the 100, you beat everybody else, but you run a 10 flat. Like, did you really run a good race, or did you happen to be the best of a bad situation?
And that's a question that so many people are responsible to answer, right? I mean Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and those guys. Now I know Malik Willis. I don't believe Malik Willis was on Dan Campbell's squad.
No, he was on
this year. He was on the other side. But still, you all have the same opportunity to find that. For the Lions, you really have to decide, and I think you really have to decide this quickly.
Yeah,
is drafting a quarterback in the first round, is that going to help you get good quickly? Because if it's not, if you believe that Jared Goff is your quarterback for 2022, and then you can kind of just keep revisiting, because you're not going to have an opportunity to pick one of those high caliber guys next year. You're just not. Unless you do something where you trade your entire draft up. Yeah, because I think you legitimately could and should win 6, 7, 8 games next year. You know?
I agree. I don't think you'll win. I don't think you'll be picking as high next year in that draft. But I just don't see that quarterback there. I don't see a forced quarterback there to draft unless Kenny Pickett falls to you in the second round or something like that.
Where you can't pass it
Exactly, where you can't pass up on it. Like, I'm still of the mind, hey, you know what? You guys believe in Jared Goff enough, shoot, try that out for another year. See how that works. You saw how toward the last 7 games of the season, well, I guess he played 6 in the second half of the season when he wasn't injured. That looked a little bit better. It was a quick snapshot, looked a little bit better towards the end of December. maybe see how that works out. Maybe pick up a backup quarterback. Maybe go out there and get a Marcus Mariota. I don't know. And have somebody on the bench. Maybe I would prefer that route. Getting a strong backup quarterback, putting him in play, and then see if the Jared Goff thing doesn't work for one more year.
Well, that's what Brett Holmes said too, Braylon, right? I mean, he said we've got to create competition.
Yeah.
I mean, Jared Goff played really well towards the end of the season, but we need him to play even better than that. Worst to first, so many teams seem to be able to do it. Will the Lions be able to do it next year? There is a clear-cut team on this list that I think most of us would pick when it comes to worst to first. We'll have that for you next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Here at Woodward Sports, we're always up for a good cause and a good time. This year we present the 2022 Cupizzundi Run. Yeah, you heard right. Time to get in our underwear and run the streets of Detroit. For the last 12 years, we've stripped down, ran in the cold, and partied to raise money to help fund research to end NF. February 12th, join the staff from Woodward Sports and hundreds of other beautiful people downtown at the Tin Roof. You can register as an individual or your team today at woodwardsports.com. So start doing those squats, sit-ups, or just some 12-ounce curls. And get ready for Cupidzundi Run 2022. Sponsored by the awesome people at Gypsy Vodka, Centron, and Planet Fitness. We'll see you February 12th at the Tin Roof. In our underwear. Thank you to Chili Peppers Tanning.
Hey gang, it's Sam here from MyBookie. Your team might have missed the big game this year, but MyBookie's double deposit bonus makes sure you won't. With no shortage of exciting prop bets, you and yours will be set for the best Super Bowl party yet. Sign up at MyBookie now. Use my promo code Woodward to have your first deposit matched instantly so you can get in on all of the action of Super Bowl 56. The only way watching the biggest game of the year could get any better is to get paid doing it, and MyBookie gives you everything you need to do it. From betting the opening coin toss to the length of the national anthem, Super Bowl prop bets are a great way for the entire party to get some skin in the big game. Don't miss out. Head to MyBookie and double your first deposit up to $1,000 by using promo code Woodward. Place your bets and get ready for the unmatched excitement of the Super Bowl. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, call the Michigan Gambling Hotline at 1-800-270-7117.
Sam's got me want to put some skin in the game.
Yes, he does. Hey, before we get going, Dan Campbell was interviewed at the Senior Bowl. Want to play that for you?
Firing away. I just probably knows that we're talking about him right now, but he's doing a good job.
You want to interfere? I'm sure you can probably come over here and give him a quick critique on the sideline if you want.
If he's a good coach, he will not be interfered, and he'll act like we're not even standing here. But I guess we'll see how he reacts to that. So.
Let's see what he dials up here. He's switching personnel groups at this point. You got any ideas for him? What do you want to see?
Let's see what he's got.
I right slot, 20 fullback belly on second sound. I right slot, 20 fullback belly, second sound.
Is that what you would have called?
Belly here, all right. So we're going to baby Ironhead here, all right. We're just going to hand it to him and let him road grade here for a little bit for a first down.
Connor Hayward, the brother of Cameron Hayward. His mother is here today, so is one of his brothers. His other brother, Cam Hayward, a little bit busy. He's in the Pro Bowl tomorrow, guys. And a false start, Dan. Come on.
I tell you what, I'll be honest with you, he's had a good week.
Very good.
If the fullback if you can't tackle the fullback, who the hell can you tackle?
Come
these
on,
things,
I mean,
man?
come on. It's fairly ridiculous
Jesus
over there.
Christ.
Even the Senior Bowl, it's lollygagging. But
Oh
they look
God.
like they were having some fun. The Lions, actually, I mentioned that the National beat the American 20-10. Of course, the Lions were coaching the American. They were at the losing end of the Senior Bowl, Braylon. some things never change.
Hey, they were 3-3 the last 6 games of the season. But now they're 3-7.
Yes, but they are picking it up. They
4.
are improving quickly.
Yeah.
Every year there seems to be a team that goes from worst to first in their division. This year it was the Cincinnati Bengals, making it 16 out of the last 18 years where a team finished last place in the division, and then in the following year won the division. So which team will that be next season? Carolina, the Lions, the Giants, the Seahawks, the Jags, the Ravens, the Jets, and the Broncos are your 8 teams this year that finished in last place in their respective divisions. To me, Braylon, the easy one that jumps out is the Baltimore Ravens, right? They can go from worst to first and win that AFC.
Yeah, the AFC North.
Yeah, North.
Yeah,
thank
AFC
you.
North. I think that one jumps out. That's kind of a cheating one.
Yeah,
but to your point, they lost a lot of players last year. Actually, almost NFL as well as the Ravens. They should do their own due diligence. They should look into their health and safety protocol rules, because it makes no sense how many injuries they had last year. If I'm talking about blown out knees, they had 6 or 7 blown out knees, back, shoulders. Like, you don't typically have that many injuries. But with that being said, that's an easy one. You can even look at the Seahawks. It looks like Russell Wilson's going to stay. It looks like Pete's going to stay. It looks like he's going to be healthy this year. You look at where they were when he got hurt. They were about to beat the Rams. He gets hurt in the first half of that first game against the Los Angeles Rams. That division is still one that's up for grabs. You look at the Los Angeles Rams. Yes, they're in the Super Bowl this year, but they had a couple games last year where they didn't play that well, and they could have easily been in second place or third place. You look at the Cardinals. The Cardinals were, once again, they were incompetent. They were 10-2 to start December, and they finished 0-5 in December. You look at the Seahawks. If Russell stays, they still have DK, Lockett, Rashad Penny got healthy towards the end of the year. They still going to need some people on defense and some offensive linemen to protect Russell so he doesn't get hurt again. And then, you got the 49ers. What are the 49ers going to do? So I like Seattle. You like the Ravens. I think they're both good picks, because they're both cheating picks.
I will tell you this much, and I hate making statements like this because I'm certainly not trying to do it for clicks or likes or views or anything like that.
Right.
But if Aaron Rodgers leaves the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions are winning the division next year. I really believe that. I think they are the team that is most capable of winning the NFC North. I think Green Bay is a 4-5-win football team without Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I think the Minnesota Vikings have a number of questions. They were 8-9 this year. Are they going to just have some crazy improvement to 12-13 wins?
They were winning all those games.
I don't believe so. Again, but one of the consistent things with them is they lose close games. And if you lose close games, I'll show you
who you are.
Right?
Yeah.
You are what your record says you are. The Chicago Bears, 6-11. I mean, we'll see what a first-year coach can do for them. If that defensive coach from the Colts, Matt Eberflus, who I have no idea how he got that job. I don't want to knock it just yet, but it just seems to me that if you have your franchise putting all their chips in on your rookie or your second-year quarterback in Justin Fields, maybe you should hire a coach that kind of can help aid in that development of your second-year quarterback. So I don't believe in the Bears. I don't believe in the Vikings, and I certainly don't believe in the Packers minus Aaron Rodgers. I think the Detroit Lions has just as good a chance as any to win the NFC North next year if Aaron Rodgers leaves the Packers.
Yeah, and you look at the teams that you put up there, the 8 that are potentially vying to be worst to first. You look at Detroit, it goes down to what's in place for a set team, set franchise. How do they look? Where are their problems? Where are their issues? The Detroit Lions, they have a coach and a GM that get along. They have a coach and a GM that people love, that seem to know the pulse of the Detroit Lions. They know this community, and they know what they're trying to do. The GM has shown you with the draft last year that he knows what he's doing. He's picking the right type of players. He's like the things and the success that they were able to have so far in the last 5 years in the Rams, you now realize that he's part of that success for a reason. They're the best team from top to bottom as it relates to moving forward and already on the right track to get to where they want to be. Now, if you look at it like that, there's nothing wrong wrong with your statement to say they're going to be the ones that go from worst to first, the Detroit Lions.
I just believe it, and I think because of it, it's not just a blind faith. I mean, number one, it's how hard those guys played last year, and I still think if you go back in those games, they could have won every bit, minimum 6 games. They could have won upwards of 8 games if you play. They lost 3 games on the last play of the game. I mean, come on, those are another 3 wins right there. They tied another one. They lost to the Bears twice. So I could go up and down that schedule for a long time, but I don't think it's a blasphemous statement to say that this team could be in line to win the division next year because the NFL just allows it. And not only that, but if you get 3 very high-end capable starters in the draft this year, I mean, you look, you not to mention maybe two free agent signings.
Yeah.
You've got 5 players there that you're talking about could make a significant impact on this team moving forward, and it shouldn't take long. It's not going to take long for a defensive guy like a Hutchinson or Thibodeau. I mean, if your job is to get after the quarterback, you know how to get after the quarterback, right? I mean, you don't have to learn some crazy offensive scheme, right? I mean,
this is true.
Your job is to get
see
to the
quarterback, hit quarterback.
Boom. Right?
That's what they tell Nick Bosa. Hey, see quarterback, hit quarterback.
Exactly. So I think that everything is in order for them to do it. And you see some players on the Los Angeles Rams right now. Who's in charge of drafting these Rams players that are in the Super Bowl right now?
Brad Holmes.
The guy that we have now, Brad Holmes. And that's why we had so much success. I say we, the Detroit Lions, had so much success last year is because of the guys that were drafted by this team, developed by this coaching staff, and ultimately performed towards the end of the season. Which, you know what? I'll take the last 6 games at the 3-3 clip and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, you can take the last 3. You can take the last 6 games when you kind of just put it all together and you look how much they improved towards the last 6 games. You look at when Jared Goff got back in there at quarterback. You look at once they brought in Josh Reynolds. You see the offensive line once Taylor Decker got back in there, how well they ran. Whether it was Craig Reynolds, whether it was Swift, whether it was Jamal Williams, didn't matter who it was. Those guys ran hard. They blocked hard. They moved the pile. So there's a lot of good things. Seems like the Detroit Lions found a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it seems like they got a kicker
Very
from Cincinnati Bengals. We appreciate you guys. So it seems like they're knocking, they're checking things off the box. They're checking some things off the box. But you got to get those defensive players that are like a transcendent, you know, and it doesn't have to be necessarily 94 grade. It might buy in there. Aiden Hutchinson will probably grade out to around 90 and 90 and a half, somewhere around there. If that's the guy you want, is that the guy you trust? Then you go get him. You go get him, and you trust that he's going to play like a Nick Bosa. He's going to play like guys that change the game. Look how fast the Cleveland Browns defense changed when they got Myles Garrett on board. They got Myles Garrett on board. Look that fast. They instantly, the defense turned into something. Now you start adding a couple pieces here and there. So they have good picks. They have the right guy making the picks. And it seems like they have a good chance to do as you say. Worst to first.
Will they be playing in a Super Bowl anytime soon? Probably not. But
don't get ahead of yourself.
There are 2 teams that are the Cincinnati Bengals and Braylon's Los Angeles Rams. I will tell you that
I thought the shirt looked nice, man.
Dude, it is a great gear. I kind of want my own. There is a stat about the Super Bowl that might be the one stat that will tell you what the winner will be this week. It is mind-blowing, actually. I will have that for you next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers.
Monday, February 21st from 11 to 1 p.m. Join Woodward Sports and Big D Energy for the grand opening of the Berkeley Chili Peppers Tanning on Woodward between 11 and 12 Mile. Come hang and join the Pepper Club. Best deals on unlimited tanning.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward Sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Oh, man. It is Super Bowl Sunday coming up this Sunday, and it is no better time to go pick up some Gypsy vodka and enjoy your Super Bowl. Michigan's best vodka right now. It is gluten-free, and it is corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. Stuff is pure, and it goes down super smooth. Adam and Mike, you got it right with this one, man. I'm trying to tell you. 50 formulas, Jesus Christ. I don't know how you had that many textings, but I tell you this. You guys got it right. I do appreciate it. I will be having some Gypsy Vodka. Hey, at the Gypsy Vodka. Everybody's a part of that party this Stafford Bowl this Sunday.
Oh, hell yeah.
Guess what? Gypsy will be in the building as well. Oh, man, it's going to be fun. Go down to your local neighborhood liquor store right now. Pick up some Gypsy. Get it now before Sunday. Sunday, they won't have any more in stock, so make sure you get it now. And if you're going to drink, remember to always drink responsibly.
And, of course, we'd like to tell you about Guardian Alarm. Whether you're home or business, a good defense helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, your business, control your lights, temperatures, detect smoke, or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock your doors. All you have to do is call this number. 1-800-STAY-OUT. Stay out.
Stay out of there.
That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay
Let
out.
them know Woodward Sports sent ya. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
And stay out.
Stay out. Stay in. Hey, we are 2 likes away from 150. So if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and pound that like button. We'd certainly appreciate it. Helps the network out, helps us out. And we are less than 500 subscribers away from 20,000.
Close. We're
on
so
YouTube.
close.
So if you are watching on YouTube and you have yet to subscribe, please do so. Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate everything you guys have done for us here at Woodward Sports. And we want to continue growing as well.
You been watching any of this Winter Olympics?
You know what? It's funny that you asked that because I don't know what I'm watching.
Right.
And I mean that. So I'm watching the Olympics.
Okay.
And I don't know how to watch it.
Go to Peacock.
I understand. But like I'm watching an event and I don't know if it's for a medal, if it's a qualifying, what this, like there's speed skating on right now. I think it's speed skating.
It's speed skating.
So I would like some sort of pop-up video associated with this.
Oh man, remember pop-up video?
Remember pop-up video?
God,
I would like a pop-up video to say, the winner of this goes on to the medal round where they have a chance to win the medal. Or this is for the medal or something. Like there's so many events that have nothing to do with medals. They're qualifying to get into the next thing. I just don't know what I'm watching. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. They don't do a very good job of prepping you on like what this race is for in terms of like what is the semblance of it. Like, hey, is this for the medal? Is
there an American that's going to show up anytime soon?
This is very true.
You know, why are you showing me from Great Britain, Taipei, and Japan, wherever? Like, are you going to explain to me when the American is going to pop up in this broadcast? I mean,
you can't support if they're not helping you.
I mean, help me, help you.
Help me, help you.
By the way, did you see the ratings for this?
Oh man, they're abysmal.
Down 46%.
Yeah,
from just a couple of years ago.
It did make me go back and watch the Tanya Harding 30 for 30.
Oh, so good.
With Nancy Kerrigan. It was great stuff.
I mean, we don't know anything about this event that's happening on television right now. Do you?
I know Nancy Kerrigan got beat up at the Joe Louis Arena. I know that happened.
Well,
for sure.
That's true. That's true. I don't know, man.
I'm just waiting for figure skating and then the big ski jumps.
Can somebody tell me when this?
I'll text you
when they're on, because I don't know when they're on. Maybe it should say, speed or downhill skiing or figure skating comes on tonight at 8:00. I don't know.
The race is over and you still don't know what
happened. No idea. Now there's a couple of more. It's just
but at
ridiculous.
least we do know that depending on something being worn, you might already know who's
So
gonna
here
win.
is the Super Bowl stat of all Super Bowl stats.
Yeah.
The team that has worn their white jerseys,
which stands for away,
the away team,
yep,
has won 8 of the last 10 Super Bowls.
Sheesh. I saw.
Can you believe that?
8 of 10 and like 3 of 19 and
like
39?
16 of 19.
That's an unbelievable stat. And honestly, with this game, it's so close and it could go either way. That might put me over the top of who I'm going to pick.
I seriously have considered it. If you are on the fence about which way to go, and by the way, the Los Angeles Rams will be wearing the white jersey this week.
There you go.
I mean, they're so close. That's got to factor in to your thought process at some point, doesn't it? 8 of 10, 16 of 19 of the teams that wear white jerseys, signifying the away team, has won the Super Bowl.
Not to mention Matt Stafford's already the early favorite for a Super Bowl MVP. I think he's something like plus 150.5. So that might be it. You know, that might be that little stat, that little tidbit, that little nugget that you research for, that you're looking when you're making the pick. And you're like, you don't say. I tell you what, you know another thing about that game? Whoever the Mattress King picks on always loses.
Picks against them.
So the fact that he bet $4 million, Mattress King.
Mattress Mac bet $4 million on Cincinnati to win the football game.
You mix those facts together.
Plus 170.
He stands, I think it's 7.7 will be his return.
I got another stat for you guys.
Yeah.
And speaking of Matthew Stafford, he has never won or lost a bowl game in his entire career, dating back to college.
I got another stat for you. Guess who's never lost a playoff game? Joe Burrow, baby.
So something's got to give here. So Matthew Stafford has never lost a bowl game. The Chick-fil-A Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Capital One Bowl, Pro Bowl MVP.
There you go.
2022 Super Bowl. And as Braylon astutely points out,
Joe Burrow
2-0 in the college football playoff at LSU.
Never lost in high school.
And 3-0 in the NFL. 5-0 in playoff games. 5-0 in bowl games for Matthew Stafford.
2 winners.
What's got to give? You got to go with the white jersey then.
Yeah, there it is. There's that random fact. I think that could be the random fact, the random turning point. I don't know. So, I wonder as a team, not to cut you off, I wonder as a team ever lost a Super Bowl returning a Super Bowl MVP. And I say that to say, Von Miller is a Super Bowl MVP. Has a team ever put a Super Bowl MVP and lost in the Super Bowl?
Well, yeah.
Peyton Manning
against
the Saints.
Well, technically, he shouldn't have been MVP anyway.
Oh, yes, he should have. Yes, he should have.
He had 140 yards and one touchdown.
Manning, well, I guess if you're a repeat performer.
No, you're right, though.
You know, because he lost for the Broncos.
Oh,
he lost to the Broncos.
Okay, let's take Peyton. Now he has a lot of losses.
Right, yeah, he does.
I mean, I guess Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
And those don't count.
Yeah.
Okay. It sounded better in my head.
Well, a non-quarterback. I can't remember of a non-quarterback. Maybe, because Reggie White, well, no, I guess he didn't win a Super Bowl in Philadelphia.
San Antonio Holmes,
Pittsburgh and Arizona.
No, they won that game, and then he lost to Green Bay.
Yeah.
He lost to Green Bay.
So,
there it is.
So if you look at the Super Bowl 56 matchup, so you've got the white jersey thing, you've got Stafford unbeaten, Burrow unbeaten, and Mattress Mac betting on Cincinnati. So you got to go to the opposite of Mattress Mac.
Definitely got to go to the opposite of Mattress Mac.
So the white jersey and Mattress Mac betting on the Cincinnati Bengals has to put you on the Rams. I mean, that's got to put you on the Rams.
I can't believe Sam said Peyton Manning should have won that Super Bowl. I can't wait to pull up those stats. I can't wait to pull up.
They're not as bad as you think. They're not as bad as you think.
All right, I'm gonna look these things up.
172 on the like button on YouTube. Could we get to 200 in the next 12 minutes? Could we possibly get to 200 likes in the next 12 minutes? Show us some love.
As there's a heart on the screen.
Woodward Sports Network.
The bottom line, Edwards and Ermanni.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Citron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Citron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners with the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. Citron is fashionable, functional, and fun. Check out their stylish brand design with the unique crown with their cool bottle design. Citron is with you for all of life's most memorable moments, like the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is coming up. That's a memorable moment. You might want to pick up some of this Citron, I'm trying to tell you. Whether it's clinching a playoff win, closing a big deal, or a fun night out, Citron is made for celebrations. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Citron is your top choice. Buy online at citronworld.com with promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it, live it with Citron.
All right, gang. Having a day so far. If you like what you hear, tell a friend about us. We are having a lot of fun here at Woodward Sports Network, and the new year has been incredible to us, Braylon. Absolutely, and we are just excited for more.
It has been. I think we talked about this like once we first came back after the holiday in January 1st. When we started the show January 3rd, we just were excited to get back at work, man. We feel like we took that week off, man, and we saw the process, and we saw the people join us and stay with us and kind of be there from the ground roots until now, and we want to bring more energy into it in 2022, and I think we're doing that so far, and we've just been coming and approaching it hard, man, and so I just can't wait. Just keep it going. Just keep the energy going.
Absolutely, and we certainly appreciate everybody watching on YouTube with us now as well. Okay, it is the time of the day we like to play Maz's
videos of the day.
Videos of the day. Yes. Now, there is one problem.
There's no Maz.
There's no Maz. Maz is not here today.
He is not.
So we are going to give it our best shot. So, on not this day, but yesterday, 2/6/03, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant. The great Kobe Bryant. Take a look at this. He did this.
I was a team out there and knew that the Knicks might want to trade him. Man, I'd sure be trying to get him.
Great match. Oh, Kobe Bryant!
Over Latrell Sprewell.
It's not easy.
What a play!
That was sweet.
Woo! Kobe!
Bang out!
Kobe! Oh!
That's what Kobe didn't get enough credit for.
The Garden, right over Latrell Sprewell.
Man, choke on that.
Oh, man, where's PJ Carlesimo?
You see, I said choke on that. Cole was, man,
savage,
very
man.
underrated as a dunker, man. But you talk about going up and under, one of the best ever to go up and under the rim and reverse dunk on the other side. Great ass.
Is that Chris Duhon on that floor as well?
Duke.
Remember Chris Duhon?
Out of Duke. He was
man.
He was the two guard to Jay Will.
Oh man, Charlie Ward, was he on that team? Allen Houston?
I think he was.
03, that's man.
Won the Heisman Trophy and didn't even get drafted in the NFL draft.
Oh, man, Charlie Ward.
How
about that? And then 34 years ago, speaking of the dunks, it's one of the things that got me just crazy into the NBA. Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. How about that?
You know it's coming if you saw the start.
Well, the crowd lets you know what they think of it. Now we will wait for the judges. A 48 ties, a 49
Yeah, go ahead and get at a 50. It's a 50 ball.
They gave Jordan a 50. He defends.
50 ball.
And thus, the Air Jordan logo was created. Out of that dunk right there.
Just think about Dominique, man. He had a hard fought road, man.
Oh man,
he had to go against Michael Jordan. He takes the L, which is in Chicago. Then he has to go against his teammate and Spud Webb, in which he takes another L. I think Dominique won 2, lost 2, so he would have 4 wins if it wasn't for the names Jordan and Webb.
Yeah, I mean, how many in not only Dominique, but like how many NBA titles do you think Malone would have had, or Charles Barkley, or would Ewing have gotten one?
Yeah,
Olajuwon got 2 out of it when Jordan was gone, but
Olajuwon is smart. Olajuwon took his opportunity. That whole team. He said, "Oh, Jordan's out here. No, we got to win now.
Right.
We got to win this year. We don't know what's going to happen to that another
Clyde
time."
Drexler,
Kenny Smith.
Hey, speaking of the Pro Bowl, Ocho Cinco had some fun during his skills challenge. Take a look.
I'm actually a little nervous right now.
Let's see what he's going to
Here is Ocho Cinco.
Here we go. He's off and running in the gauntlet.
Let's go.
He's talking. Oh, wait a minute. He hit the wrong line.
Oh, come on, Chad.
He spills in. He held onto the finish line.
Oh, look at Steve Smith.
These things were fun. I did this. They didn't do this when I went. They had stopped doing the skills challenge when I was in it, so I got gypped in that regard. But I did do that one other time, and I think I told you it was with Mike Vick. Yeah. It was like a couple months before everything would come out with him, and when he got in trouble for with the Atlanta Falcons.
Damn shame what they did to them dogs.
Man, goddamn shame. It wasn't even illegal. I think everybody suffered.
There's a line from a movie for you kids out there.
It's a damn shame what they did.
Damn shame what they did to that dog. Coming to America, by the way.
Hey, Stu, you're rent, Stu.
There is so many fun things that I feel like they don't do anymore. I mean, some of those videos with, we were tossing one back and forth. The Jim Harbaugh when he was with the Ravens.
57 yards at his throw.
I mean, the longest yard, and maybe it's because of the money that's being made out there now. I don't know why. Maybe you don't want to get the guy injured or something like that to strain his arm, but I don't know. Just seems like they don't do the fun stuff anymore.
They got to find a way to do some fun stuff because, hockey has it in. They have it in the chokehold right now.
Hockey was
I was
great.
watching that stuff from the pond. They just come up with these. Maybe it's just also creative and it looks fun because it's a puck and you slap. That stuff was fun and they weren't exerting a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And it still showed how great they were. Their accuracy in being able to do stuff. NFL's gonna have to figure some stuff out because they can do better.
Yeah, the hockey stuff was great this weekend, and baseball normally is I think the baseball game itself is pretty darn good.
Baseball is the best game, for sure. And then the home run derby used to be the stuff of legends. Sometimes it kind of falls on deaf ears. I don't know, man.
And
we got to get on the board, man.
Look, when the NBA All-Star Game is played, in 2 weeks, I believe it is, or something like that.
Yep, it's the 20th.
We're going to have the same discussion that we had today about the Pro Bowl.
And we're going to
talk about the NBA because they don't play any defense. It's just a lot.
But they changed that, though. Remember, they changed it, so now you play to a certain number, and you playing for a charity. You're playing for the money. It's I think it's the first team to 150 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
They do something now when they've been doing it for the last 2 years because they caught a lot of flack because the score was 220 to 200. People were what the hell is this?
Right.
So now they do something where they have to get to a certain number, and then the team that wins, it goes to their charity or something like that.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. All right. Sam, hell of an effort out of you today. Alex, without Maz specifically, I mean, you're our guy, left tackle city over here. If we were a football team, Alex would be our left tackle. And you only would notice him when there would be a penalty flag on him. Right?
Great show out of you guys.
That's why we love him so much. Great show, guys. Braylon, get us out of here. Thank you guys so much. 192 on the like button. 192. We love it.
We so
love
close.
it.
I love it.
It's all good,
the support, man. Thank
Absolutely.
You so much. Glad to be back. This is Super Bowl weekend, so we will be talking about Stafford and Detroit Lions in abundance, as well as Joe Cool, but it is also still Black History Month. And since we're talking about the Winter Olympics, why not talk about the Winter Olympics? Debbie Thomas was the first black athlete to medal at the Winter Games. She medaled at Calgary 1988. She won a bronze medal in figure skating. This is her, if you're watching, on the cover of Time. Winter Wonders. Debbie Thomas, 1988 in Calgary. And then in 2002, Vanetta Flowers becomes the first black athlete to win gold medal at the Winter Games. She did so in the bobsled in 2020 when the games were in Salt Lake City, Utah. Oh, sorry about that. I don't think my mic was on. Debbie Thomas was the first black athlete to win a medal at the Winter Games in Calgary in 1988. She won the bronze. And then in 2002, Vanetta Flowers won the first gold medal when she medaled in the bobsled in Salt Lake City, Utah, Michigan, not Michigan, but United States of America. Always good to feel when you win the gold on the home turf. Shout out to these individuals, extraordinary individuals, and we appreciate you as always. 192 on the likes today. We appreciate you.
Whoa. We got an update.
Uh-oh, did we get to 2?
We have 199 likes. Is there one more? Who's got one more for us in the next 30 seconds?
We got 30 seconds to get one more.
We put out the challenge to get to 200 likes today. By the time our show is over. If you are watching on the YouTube,
I think we just got it.
We got it. 200 likes.
200.
Yeah, baby.
Man, ain't nothing
Rock
but God,
on.
baby. Appreciate you guys always. That support, man, it means the world to us because it means we're going to keep coming with more content, more information, and we're going to do this. Woodward Sports Network, that's what we do, baby.
To the moon!
That's Ermanni. I'm Edwards. That's Sam. That's Alex, our right tackle, left tackle, depending on which side he's on. And big guy Maz on the couch. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let's go!
Let's go!